Imagine walking into a job interview full of hope, only to leave feeling dismissed because of the color of your skin. That's exactly what happened to a highly qualified black woman who had no idea the recruiter she was meeting would openly refuse to consider her for the role. What the recruiter didn't know: she wasn't just any candidate, she was the newly appointed CEO of the very company they were hiring for. In this jaw-dropping story, we'll unravel how unconscious bias and assumptions collided with an unforgettable twist of fate. What happened when the truth came out? How did the tables turn in a way no one saw coming? This isn't just about one woman's experience. It's a powerful reminder of how prejudice can blind people to the incredible talents standing right in front of them. Stay tuned as we reveal the moment everything changed. The day started like any other for the recruiter: a stack of resumes to review, calls to make, and interviews to conduct. When the woman walked into the room, her presence was undeniable. Dressed in a sharp professional suit and carrying an air of quiet confidence, she greeted the recruiter with a warm smile. But before she even had the chance to introduce herself, she noticed something strange in his expression: a flicker of hesitation, maybe even discomfort. As the conversation unfolded, it became clear the recruiter wasn't asking the usual questions. His tone was dismissive, his questions shallow, and he seemed more focused on cutting the meeting short than learning about her impressive background. The woman remained calm, responding thoughtfully to each question, even as it became painfully obvious that her qualifications weren't the issue here. She left the room with a polite goodbye, leaving the recruiter smug in his decision, but his assumption was about to cost him dearly. As the recruiter moved on to his next task, he didn't give the woman another thought. In his mind, she was just another candidate who didn't fit the culture. He even shared a chuckle with a colleague about how some people don't know their place. Little did he know, his words were about to come back to haunt him in the most unexpected way. Meanwhile, the woman quietly left the building, her emotions a mix of frustration and determination. She had faced situations like this before, moments where her qualifications and achievements seemed invisible because of her appearance. But this time was different. She had the power to change the narrative, and she knew it. As the company prepared for the big announcement of its new CEO, whispers of excitement buzzed through the office. The recruiter, feeling secure in his position, had no idea that the very person he dismissed was about to become his boss. The morning of the announcement arrived, and the office was buzzing with energy. Employees gathered in the conference room, curious to see who would be stepping into the CEO role. The recruiter was among them, wearing his usual confident smirk. He had a reputation for spotting the right people and took pride in his ability to read candidates. Little did he know, his judgment was about to be tested like never before. As the company's leadership team took the stage, the atmosphere grew electric. The CEO introduction began with a glowing summary of the new leader's qualifications: years of experience, a proven track record of success, and a vision that aligned perfectly with the company's future. The recruiter's smirk faded slightly as he realized these achievements sounded strangely familiar. When the doors at the back of the room opened, all eyes turned. There she was, the woman he had dismissed just days ago, walking confidently toward the stage. The morning of the announcement arrived, and the office was buzzing with energy. Employees gathered in the conference room, curious to see who would be stepping into the CEO role. The recruiter was among them, wearing his usual confident smirk. He had a reputation for spotting the right people and took pride in his ability to read candidates. Little did he know, his judgment was about to be tested like never before. As the company's leadership team took the stage, the atmosphere grew electric. The CEO introduction began with a glowing summary of the new leader's qualifications: years of experience, a proven track record of success, and a vision that aligned perfectly with the company's future. The recruiter's smirk faded slightly as he realized these achievements sounded strangely familiar. When the doors at the back of the room opened, all eyes turned. There she was, the woman he had dismissed just days ago, walking confidently toward the stage. The recruiter froze, his face draining of color as the woman he had dismissed so easily made her way to the front. A polite yet powerful smile crossed her face as she approached the microphone. For a moment, the room seemed to hold its breath. She began speaking with the same calm, confident tone she had used during their interview. But this time, she had everyone's full attention. As she outlined her vision for the company, the recruiter's mind raced. Did she recognize him? Had she already decided his fate? He remembered the questions he had brushed off, the way he had cut her answers short. Now those moments played back in his head with a sinking realization. Then, just as he began to hope he could blend into the crowd unnoticed, her eyes scanned the room and landed directly on him. She paused, her smile never faltering. The tension was palpable. What would she say next? The room fell silent as her gaze lingered on the recruiter. For a brief moment, she seemed to weigh her words carefully. Then, with a confident tone, she addressed the team. In building a successful company, we must challenge assumptions, break down barriers, and hold ourselves accountable to the values we claim to stand for. Her words hung heavy in the air, and the recruiter felt the weight of them like a spotlight was shining directly on him. Everyone in the room shifted uncomfortably, sensing the undercurrent of the moment. Then came the twist. She smiled again and added, "And that starts with me. I recently had the chance to meet one of you without revealing my role. That experience taught me a lot, not just about this company, but about the kind of leadership we need." The recruiter's heart pounded as her words seemed directed at him, but instead of calling him out, she turned the moment into a lesson for the entire room. From today onward, I'll be taking a closer look at how we recruit, develop, and value talent at every level. This company's success depends on embracing diversity, not turning it away. The room erupted into applause, but the recruiter couldn't join in. He knew she had made her point without naming names. However, as she stepped off the stage, she stopped in front of him briefly, meeting his eyes. With a knowing look, she simply said, "Let's talk soon." The recruiter realized his second chance would depend entirely on what he chose to do next. After the meeting, the recruiter couldn't shake the weight of the CEO's words. He replayed their brief encounter in his mind, realizing the depth of the opportunity she had given him, not just to redeem himself professionally, but to rethink his biases and assumptions. Over the following weeks, he made it a point to review his practices and confront the uncomfortable.